Ladies and gentlemen, it is a big, weird, wild world out there, folks. And here we stand, al pie del cañón, ready for anything. I'm Rob, that's a Natch, and you're listening to...
The ProBoh Show!
Good morning, fine people. How are you doing out there? Natch, Metro was quiet today. I think a lot of people have gone on holiday already. You're not going anywhere, right?
No.
You're going to stay at home. A staycation.
That's right.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too. I'm looking forward to it. By the way, guys, there will be ProBoh Show on Monday and Tuesday. As you know, this isn't a Vaughan radio show precisely. This is a podcast first and foremost. So I'll be publishing those on Monday and Tuesday. I think we'll probably do them around lunchtime, though. So stay tuned to my social media to know when I go live so you can participate in the show. My Instagram is usually where I announce this kind of thing. It's Instagram @professionalbohemian @professionalbohemian. Let's look at what's coming up in today's show, friends. I asked 100 humans about a first kiss. The first kiss. Then we're going to find out in Complete the News what Republican Senator Ron Johnson thinks about climate change. And then we go to an English zoo to find out who they're hiring. Hopefully we get through both of those today because they're both really funny. But that's in the second half. All that fun is in the second half. In the first half, we also have an amazing unpopular opinion today regarding religion. I'll get into more of that later, I think, when we actually get into the show. Yeah, why not? Right now, I'm here, you're here. Let's look at what's happening in the world. So Natch, you're not going anywhere. Do you ever go anywhere for the May bank holiday?
No, not really.
No, me neither. I very rarely go anywhere for summer. I'll be honest. Although I am thinking this year about doing a few days of the Camino. I think it'll do me good. Mentally. You know, to calm down the crazy. Oh man, and I haven't drunk. I've stuck to my word, Natch. I haven't drunk in 5 days, no less. 5 days. Oh, I'm a good boy. This is why I'm sleeping better. Thank God. I've met a friend last night, Natch. Another person who wants to tell me how fat I've gotten. What is it with you Spaniards, man? Donde hay confianza da asco. I said, how are you doing, man? He says, good, not as good as you, and tapped his belly. I'm like, what the hell, dude? But yeah, the metro wasn't so much of a pain in the ass today. Although I did do the Cobra with an East Asian man this morning. Line 7, which is the line I get from my home to halfway, was really dead. I even sat down, Natch. That's like gold. It's like striking gold in your in your garden. But then line 10 was just as disgusting as usual. And I ended up doing the Cobra. Haciendo la Cobra, I think you say in Spanish, right?
Wow, qué nivelazo.
Damn right, Natch. Damn right. So I ended up doing the Cobra with an East Asian man. It was really kind of apretado. It was really, we were really jammed in there. And because of the way I got in facing, obviously, the opposite side to the entrance. And this East Asian man was facing the entrance. So we were just moving each other's heads out of the way. I could feel his breath on my neck. It was so romantic. Anyway, let's look at some news, friends. And there is quite a bit of news today. I don't know if we're going to get through it all. Let's see. Okay. We mentioned how BuzzFeed, and do you remember this ages ago, Natch? We mentioned how BuzzFeed fired a bunch of writers of their more listicle, their more kind of clickbait articles. Well, I saw a piece of news, I believe it was from yesterday, from Gizmodo, a great publication, by the way, if you're into tech and social media and things like that, or technology. I saw an article from Gizmodo. After the death of BuzzFeed News, journalists should treat AI as an existential threat. Wow. So yeah, BuzzFeed not only have replaced their listicle writers, they've actually closed down BuzzFeed News, which was it's crazy because BuzzFeed News was actually quite good. It was instrumental in breaking a lot of stories in the Trump era, in the era of Trump's administration. I don't know whether you're a Republican or not. I mean, news is important. So journalists have been marveling at the spectacle of AI, but they need to be wary of a corporate shift towards media automation. Yeah, automation is something that's going to be affecting all of us in the very near future. Last week, BuzzFeed nuked its entire newsroom. So these are the people who write the articles. What Spice Girl, what your favorite Spice Girl says about your mental health. These are the people who actually generate legitimate news, and they basically fired everyone. Laying off an already significantly reduced team that had never been quite the same since the company forced out droves, means a lot, of investigative and politics reporters last March. While you certainly could not call this the first major newsroom layoff in history, it did feel quite unique for one particular reason. That reason being automation. Yeah, BuzzFeed are kind of taking the lead in something that I believe is going to happen all over the editorial world, which is a lot of automation of writing tasks. In an email, the company's CEO, Jonah Peretti, said to his soon-to-be jobless staff that BuzzFeed would now focus on increasing speed and effectiveness, while also pivoting to bring AI enhancements to every aspect of our sales process. Wow, man. It worries me because as a fan of journalism, I wouldn't consider myself a journalist. Maximum, I editorialize already existing content. So don't take anything I say as fact, guys. There's always a spin of my own editorial belief on whatever I say. But as a big fan of journalism and the journalistic world, this makes me really sad. What do you read any news, Natch? Is there a particular publication you enjoy?
No.
No, you don't read. You don't watch news.
No, apart from sport news.
Okay, I get you. Okay, and what you listen to me talking about every day, right? Natch is now an expert on AI and Elon Musk. There you go. If you listen to the fans of the show, that's all. It's the only thing we talk about, Natch, me and you. Okay. So yeah, worrying time in journalism. I can see this rolling out if BuzzFeed is successful. So what does this mean for the future of journalism? It's definitely a conversation we should be having. I mean, you wonder, right? I wonder if the only real news written by people in some kind of frame of time will be those that are privately funded, like the BBC, that survives on the British TV license fee. Certainly very, very worrying. I mean, already some of the best publications and some of their most insightful articles are behind paywalls. I mean, I read a lot of the New York Times and Washington Post, but sadly, most of their really insightful editorial articles are behind paywalls. So it's sad. I mean, what does this mean for news? Who knows? It's going to be interesting. We're living in interesting times, guys. It's an old Chinese curse. May you live in interesting times. Well, times are getting very interesting right now. Okay, let's continue. I saw an interesting report from the University of Aberdeen. You guys must think, what the hell does Rob do in his spare time? I just look at academic articles and read the news. That's it. That's my life. We are using less energy when we rest than 30 years ago. So yeah, this is an article. Well, an article. This is a paper published by the University of Aberdeen with regards to the obesity epidemic, and it finds that in aggregate, in total, we are using less energy than we used to. But when we're active, we're actually using slightly more than we did 30 years ago. We're actually using slightly more energy than we used to when we're active and moving, but we're using a lot less. 7.7% less in males, 5.4% less in females, energy while we rest than the early 90s. What kind of energy? How are you burning energy when you rest? It's interesting, right? Because 30 years ago in the 90s, how were people resting? What, like doing yoga? I don't know. I don't know what's considered resting. Is it because we used to pursue a few more academic pursuits, or that we used to, go for walks? Are we a lot more sedentary than we used to be? The good thing about this scientific paper is it doesn't kind of assume any reasons, just identifies the problem. And it's certainly something that has been on my mind. Am I burning enough calories every day? Because, everyone around me is telling me how fat I am recently. Yeah, so there we go, guys. Something to be cognizant of. Yeah, in Europe and the USA, we are burning less energy than we used to. Obviously not a big deal for those of you who are doing some kind of exercise. How are you doing, Maine? Good morning, good morning. We've also got Pedro from Instagram in the chat. If you want to join us live, by the way, guys, and contribute to the content, you can do that at Professional Bohemian on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/Professional Bohemian. Born to Iron Man's here. Good morning, ProBoh Showers. Good morning to you too, sir. Yeah, and what else? I think we'll... do we wrap up there? Yeah, we've got quite a juicy unpopular opinion today, so I think we're going to go there right now.
Unpopular opinion.
Okay, here's today's unpopular opinion, guys. But first, what is an unpopular opinion? It is a brain fart, un pedo cerebral, un pedo mental. Okay. I share it on my social media, namely my Instagram account, @Professional Bohemian, @ProfessionalBohemian. I post it there. You guys vote. Depending where the wind is blowing, I either defend the opinion or argue against it. Today's unpopular opinion was religion should not be taught in schools. Religion should not be taught in schools. A hot topic, man. I actually got a few messages about this through the since I posted it. I think it should be a part of history. This is from Teresa. Teresa in the sky, and thank you for listening, guys, by the way. I think it should be a part of history. So the history of all different religions are taught in a natural way, not as a separate subject. Interesting. And that actually was echoed by the mighty Vanessa Ruth, who said, I think not only one should be told or taught, but maybe as a part of history, some kind of general knowledge about religions would be enriching. How do you feel about this, Natch?
I think exactly the same as the last one, that gave her opinion, or his opinion.
You
it should be like explained, but like
was part of
every
history?
religion and as a part of, maybe history, I don't know, or maybe a religion itself, but explain every religion and that's it. Don't give it too much importance. if you want to, if the family wants to go further, of course.
Okay, well, look, I got some other comments here. Ashley said, I think schools should let kids explore different paths. Let them figure out what they vibe with, she says. Figure out what they're interested in for themselves. Don't force feed them things that they don't agree with. Ben says, I think teaching religion in schools can help preserve our values and bring us closer. It isn't hurting anyone. Yeah, religion doesn't hurt anyone, right? Thanks for your comment, Ben. From my perspective, schools should focus on nurturing critical thinking. This is from Carla. Teaching the history and cultures behind different religions, but students decide their beliefs for themselves. Okay, interesting point. There is another one there from Dave, but I don't really want to spend too much time reading the comments. Okay, the elves have prepared some pros and cons for us, guys. So here we go. Thank you, by the way, elves. Separation of church and state. So this is in agreement with the argument religion should not be taught in schools. Keeping religious education out of public schools respects the principle of separation between church and state, ensuring that public institutions remain neutral. The reason we're doing this topic, by the way, guys, is there was a piece of news the other day about a Texas school district that passed, or that were thinking of passing legislation to put the Ten Commandments in every classroom. So that made me think, wouldn't it be great to revisit the topic of religion in schools? So let's continue with the pro column. Removing religious education from schools can prevent the promotion of one particular belief system over others, fostering an inclusive environment for all students, faith or no faith. Reducing potential conflict. Excluding religious education from the curriculum may minimize conflicts between students or parents with differing religious beliefs and backgrounds. And finally, by not teaching religion in schools, educational institutions can dedicate more time and resources to secular subjects such as science, maths, and history. Or math, if you're an American listening to the show. Religion should be taught in schools. The opposite side of this, the arguing against the point here. So, religion should be taught in schools. Teaching about religion can provide students with important context about the role of religion in history, culture, and society, promoting understanding and tolerance among diverse communities. Comparative religious education, a balanced curriculum that teaches about multiple religious traditions, can encourage critical thinking, empathy, and appreciation for diverse beliefs and practices. Religious education can contribute to students' moral and ethical development by exploring various belief systems, teachings on values, ethics, and personal responsibility. And finally, God, elves did a lot of writing today. Prohibiting religious education in schools may limit academic freedom and hinder the comprehensive education of students in all aspects of history, culture, and knowledge. Okay, I'm going to check out what our live audience is saying here in chat. Pedro's been quite prolific this morning. Here we go. This is an interesting subject. I firmly believe that regardless of any personal inclination in relation to faith and spirituality, religion is one of the key elements that shape society culture throughout the centuries. Whether you're agnostic, Buddhist, or exploit elves. Can we get a little ProBoh approved?
ProBoh approved.
Look, elves are there to be exploited, man. They enjoy it. They were so happy when I gave them their 5 minutes of sunshine natch. And so sad when I threw them back in the cupboard. Their sadness brings me joy. Anyway, let's continue. This is all from Pedro from Instagram, by the way. We're part of a society founded on the merger between the Judeo-Christian tradition and the Roman Empire. Right here in this part of Europe we are, yeah. Quite right. So understanding Christianity is imperative to understand our own history and culture. However, we live in a more diverse society. I think the religious studies should comprehend other mainstream religions such as Islam. This would help understand that no matter how strong our beliefs and convictions are, when our certainties clash with other people's certainties, my God, this is a tongue twister. Then bad things can happen. Also firmly believe in the power of doubt and curiosity towards the others as a potential element to connect us with people who think differently. Okay, great points there. Let's give him another ProBoh approved. Not just for his elf comment.
ProBoh approved.
Min, I'll do one better. All major religions should be taught, not in a way that tries to convey to you, I think that's supposed to be convert you, or that acts as if every part of it is the truth, but in a sense, this is roughly what it means. This is what people get out of it. I don't think it needs to be taught in the name of morals or something, but just because it's such a massive part of human history and a big part of some people's lives. Okay, let's get another ProBoh approved for the Minster.
ProBoh approved.
For Min the Merciless. Okay. We've heard a variety of things there. So you think, what do you think, Natch? What are your actual thoughts on this? Like, what do you, like, for example, would you be happy with your kids being taught Islam or Buddhism.
Yes, why not? Yes.
So for you, the key is not just teaching one religion, but having it be kind of a mixed bag, as it were.
Exactly. I remember I read about Buddhism and I was quite impressed. Yeah, and I really loved it.
Okay, all right then. Well, here we go. Like when I was a kid, when I was a child, like the city I grew up in was had problems with racial issues. There were race riots when I was in my teens and things like that. And I think to combat that racial tension, in our religious studies class, we covered a really wide spectrum of religions. From focusing in on Muslim beliefs to Hindu beliefs to Christianity. We kind of covered the gambit. I remember I have really fond memories of going to visit a mosque. Obviously, religion played a big part. It was a Roman Catholic school. So whereas we kind of had a cursory glance over all religions in that one class, every morning there was prayer time. Let's pray. There were crucifixes on the wall. I don't know, is that common in Spain as well, Natch? Do you see that? Like crucifixes and religious iconography on the wall?
And I don't know now, but it was very typical.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Here we go. I'm gonna piss a lot of people off here. I think there are more valuable things that kids should be learning than archaic teachings from thousands of years ago. Look, I will preface this by saying this is just an opinion, guys. Don't let it hurt you. I'm an idiot, first and foremost. But I do think there are more valuable things to be learning. A class on history. We're really gonna teach history through religion through a historical perspective. Because let me tell you something. That's not going to be a pleasant class because religion has done a lot of good things for society, but has done quite a lot of bad things. Let's not forget, we're a bunch of monkeys that made up a bunch of gods and then killed each other over which gods we thought were better. That's a little brief history of humans' relationship with religion. I mean, does it belong somewhere in the context of history? Yes, of course, it does. But I don't have a horse in the race because I have no children. But if I did have a children, I think I would be a lot happier having them learn ethics, maybe philosophy. I mean, rather than religious studies, I think much more valuable would be an education in media and practices of media, how to distinguish the truth or pick truth out of or distinguish between truth and lies in the media, to understand that social media isn't a mirror of actual life, just a mirror of viewing life through rose-tinted glasses. And just like you say, like, okay, we could be, there's a great moral foundation in religion, do good things, the Ten Commandments. I mean, is there? There are parts of the Bible to name one, Peter 2:18, slaves, submit to your masters with all respect, not only to the good and gentle, but also to the cruel. So what, you're gonna cherry pick out of the Bible the best parts and leave out the others? There's quite a lot of sexism in the Bible. Ephesians, wives, submit to your own husbands as to the Lord, for the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is the head of the church. Do you know what I mean? What are you going to do? You're going to cherry pick the good parts? You're going to be just like Fox News or MSNBC if you're a Republican and cherry pick just parts of religion that you want to teach? They call that indoctrination, man. That's brainwashing. If you're just going to tell them the positive bits and then subtly drip feed in the bad bits, I don't think that's a very healthy. Way to educate. I simply do not. Let's see what people are saying. You're right, Rob. Conflicts created by religion should be part of religious studies, or it's all essential to understand. Understand. Bueno. Thank you, Pedro. Yeah, I agree. Min, I don't think you can have good history classes without going into religion. It shaped our societies for 4,000 years. But we need to talk about Christianity and Islam the same way we teach about old Roman and Norse gods. Yeah, but look, if we're gonna do that, we should teach it in all its spectrum, because there are parts of the Bible that's ugly. Just like people, just like the Quran, just like every holy book. There are ugly parts of it. And I don't think we should be cherry-picking just the good. If we're going to do that, why are we teaching the Quran and the Bible? Why don't we build a syllabus around Stephen King's The Stand? I think what God meant to say, that's very egotistical if you believe in God. He didn't mean to say anything. He said what he said, right? Interesting point. But look, guys, I'm the chief idiot here. Don't take my word for it, because, I only know as... I only know as much as I've been taught, and these are all opinions, and opinions don't hurt. They don't have to. I encourage you to share them. All right, friends, I'm going to post a poll in the chat, and we'll get to the bottom of this. Should religions be taught in school? Interesting. All right, friends, so many things you could have been doing this morning, but instead of doing those things, you decided to take the time to spend some time with Natch and I, and it means the world. I'll see you in a few minutes. Hey, guys, if you'd like to support the show, you can do so on Patreon. That's patreon.com/professional bohemian. There you'll find VODs of the episodes as they are recorded live, blogs, vlogs, and behind-the-scenes content. If you'd like to watch the show live, you can do so on twitch.tv/professional bohemian, and you can participate in the polls we use in the show on Instagram @professional bohemian or Twitter @ProBoh, ProBoh. Okay, on with the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. How are you doing out there, friends? Wow, we've had quite a morning so far. How are we doing? The first piece of news we spoke about was BuzzFeed, basically letting go of their BuzzFeed news staff, the journalists. Sad time for journalism in the age of AI, or in the burgeoning age of AI. Then we quickly looked at a study that we found from the University of Aberdeen, worrying, focusing in on trying to discover why, or the reasons for the obesity epidemic. It highlighted the fact that we are using less energy than we used to. We're more sedentary. Time to get off our asses, guys, and go for a walk. I obsess over the amount of steps I take in a day. If I don't get my 10,000 steps by the time I walk my dogs in the evening, they get treated to an extra long walk. Okay, and then we went into today's unpopular opinion, which was religion should not be taught in schools. Quite a divisive one. And I'll be honest, I'm not 100% in sync with the opinions in chat, which makes them so valuable. Guys. Because this isn't a show about right or wrong, and there's probably not a right or wrong answer to this question, And that's kind of what makes this program valuable, the fact that we can talk about difficult things with each other in a respectful way. If you're watching the stream right now, you see me walk around. Sorry, I dropped my pencil. All right. Well, the poll in the chat is done. Oof, interesting. Oh my god. I did this topic weeks ago, Natch. 35 weeks ago to be exact, because that's what Instagram told me. And the result was 55% agreed with me that religion should not be taught in school. This time around, 65% of people agreed that religion should not be taught in school. Let's go to the results of the poll. Here we go, guys. Are you ready? A little drum roll. 50-50. 50-50. Actually, through that break, one of the listeners actually reached out to me and said, I thought it was a nice point. Hang on one second. Mary said, religion should be removed indeed. It doesn't help anyone. Children should be taught how to survive in today's world. Things like nutrition, finance, and prepare them for jobs available today. In Spain, religion means the Catholic Church. Very unfair. Did you learn about any other religions in school, Natch?
No.
Yeah, there's a problem. There's a problem. That's exactly why I hate this. I hated that news about putting the 10 Commandments up in a class. Thou shalt not commit adultery, Natch. Very valuable message to send to 7-year-olds. Come on. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about here? I mean, are we being serious? James DeWitt from London, he says, it absolutely should. Our understanding of other cultures is dependent on it. Imagine if we didn't learn about Islam in schools and everything we knew about it was on the world news. Yeah, that's a very fair point, eh? It's a very fair point. Okay, we're going to take a quick look at what people said in the chat. I have to do a little scrolling, guys. Bear with me. Yahir is here. How are you doing? Says Calvo. Oh, can we get a little ProBoh approved? I like it when you pick on me, guys.
ProBoh approved.
Calvo. Okay, here we go. Let's see. I don't think you have good history classes without going into religion. I can agree with that to some degree. I mean, there are a lot more things that shaped religion other than just religion that shaped history. Sorry, but religion really did play a massive part thousands of years ago. Okay, let's see. It shaped our societies for 4,000 years. But we need to talk about Christianity and Islam the same way we teach about the old Roman and Norse gods. Yeah, I could agree with that as well. Pedro, the point here is that the angle should be different. That's from Pedro. Teaching about all religions, this is again Min, is also the only way to create understanding and reduce conflicts, in my opinion. Education is the best way to let people understand each other. There's no book of Stephen King that was written 2,000 years ago and shaped the decisions of an entire continent since then. Most of the Bible, Min, was not written 2,000 years ago, my friend. Sorry. And it was actually compiled a lot more recently in the Council of Nicaea, where they decided which books they were going to include and which books they were going to exclude. If we're talking about the Bible, that is, my friend. Okay, Pedro says, there's a huge difference between teaching religion and teaching religious studies with an angle towards understanding different beliefs and historical impact of religion in society. But the question is, would radically religious parents be okay with that? Okay. Someone teaching your Muslim kids, for instance, that Islam is just one of the beliefs out there and others should be respected. Okay, I'm gonna kind of, you've made some great points, guys. Can we get Min and Pedro, who are doing some amazing work here, just a super nivelazo?
Wow, que nivelazo.
You guys are killing it today. And they go on making the same point. I don't agree that religion doesn't help anybody. You can find personal peace and rest with the idea of a God. Okay, here we go. Let's get into this. Whereas, yes, I agree that religion does play a part in schools. It does. There is a part to be played. But parents who are very religious are not going to enjoy the fact that their kids are learning about Islam. I know, like my family was Roman Catholic. My grandmother, old school Roman Catholic. I was an altar boy when I was a kid. She made me. She was none too happy when I went to visit a mosque. You know, she was none too happy about that. For me, it was one of my fondest memories. And to learn about the Hindu gods and the traditions there, I just found it was wonderful, enriching. But we did spend way more time on Christianity, funnily enough, than we did on those interesting religions. And again, you know, I find most discourse around the Bible in schools to be quite trite, cherry picking passages about love and union and peace, when there's been so many atrocities done in the name of whoever made up God. Yeah, you're choosing to subscribe to. There are 5,000. There's a pantheon of 5,000 gods. This was from a Ricky Gervais debating Stephen Colbert. He said there are 5,000 gods out there. You know, Stephen Colbert, he said, you believe in one. You believe in just one. So we agree 4,999 out of 5,000 times, because Ricky Gervais doesn't believe in any. Okay, is there a place for religion? And again, this is just an opinion, guys. If it was up to me, religion would it be a part of history? No. I would teach an ethics class. And there I would go from Plato to Marx. I would teach ethics. And religion would have a little part to play in there. You know? And it would be taught as if it was mythology. You know? It's not very popular opinion, and I'm not trying to negate your beliefs. I mean, I understand there are people from different backgrounds and religions listening to the show, my friends. You know, my best friend before he died, he was Mormon. I've had many Islamic friends and Hindu friends growing up in a rich cultural city like Bradford. You know, obviously I've got a few Christian friends, very many atheist friends. So where do we go from here? Like, how does society rebuild itself in a post-God world? I mean, you can already see it happening. There is a vacuum, right? People, like, was it Marx who said we killed God? Man killed God. And it created a vacuum. And I think, for me, that's why we get all these, you know, I don't believe in God, but I do believe in something. Because most of the scriptures don't kind of marry very well with modern society and the way we live and inclusivity. You know? Pretty much the foundation of any organized religion, with the exception of Buddhism, you know, teaches that there is only one God or pantheon of gods, and that everybody else is wrong. And whenever you're saying everybody else is wrong and you're right, you know, you're on a very slippery slope to extremism. And I'm not here singling out Islam or singling out Christianity. You know, I think both have done an equal amount of damage. And I think, if anything, religion should be taught like that, contextually, in history. Okay, these are my actual opinions, by the way, guys. Maybe not scripture so much, but religion's impact on society. I think when we, you know, do we need to teach kids that if they don't believe in God, they're going to go to hell? Do we need to teach kids that? Because I think Santa Claus is a much better way of doing the same thing. If you don't behave well, you're not going to get a present this year. Let's see what Min just said something. The thing is, teaching someone like Plato in elementary school, is it useful? It's full of ideas that you don't see in everyday life, whereas you still see religion every day. I don't know if kids need to know about the ultimate shape of an object and how... Yeah, all right, that's a fair point. But I don't think kids need to know about a man that died 2,000 years ago. You know, I don't think they need to know that. I think ethics can be something that can be taught through exercises, whereas religion can't. Little ethical and moral questions that, you know, I don't think, I think what you're doing there is you're making a pretty reductive argument about ethics. I mean, I understand it, but I mean, ethics is a massive subject. How to tell the difference between right and wrong for yourself, and why? How to develop critical thinking in decision making. I think these are way more important values to be instilling in young people. All religions are right in their statement that all other religions are wrong. Oh, Pedro, ProBoh approved, my friend.
ProBoh approved.
That's the thing. 5,000 gods out there. If you're a follower of religion, look, I'm with you. 4,999 cases out of 5,000. And yeah, religion does obviously have, every religion, not just Christianity, also Islam. You know, also Hinduism. They all have valuable lessons to teach us. And I believe in the context of ethics, that would be a great way to consume that, without putting the focus into a book that was compiled 1,500 years ago in Greece. You know what I mean? I don't know. Why don't they need to know about Jesus? Do you teach Cleopatra, Julius Caesar, or Confucius? Yeah, but these were actual... There is no concrete proof Jesus actually existed, I mean. I believe that, God, I've said that now and I don't know the actual reference for that. there is one historical reference of a man named Jesus or the Christ or something. Put a pin in that because I'm frustrated that I can't remember the argument behind this. Put a pin in that, and on Monday we'll come back to it. The bridge. I have always learnt my religion at school. I have always gone to Roman Catholic school. However, I was, and that's where the bridge stops. Yeah, me too. I went to a Roman Catholic school. And and to be fair, they did give us a cursory understanding of other religions, and I appreciate that. But I'm not sure how valuable it was, given that right after that, Bradford fell into some of the most hateful racial violence it has ever seen. So while you're giving people, like, what you're doing, you're giving people the choice between religions, right? This is what I believe. This is what a bunch of people believe on this side. This is what a bunch of people believe on the other side. This is what a bunch of people believe over there. All right, what do you believe? How about, instead of framing things in terms of belief, frame them in terms of, what does right and wrong mean for you? Here are how some great thinkers have contextualized the difference between what is right and what is wrong. Here's some religious perspectives. Thou shalt not kill, etc. Rather than framing things as gangs of beliefs, that's where I take issue. Because then that automatically, if you're a young, impressionable mind, you're thinking, well, which gang do I belong to? And in reality, we're all just, we're all fallible humans. As I say every day, like, I'm an idiot. Don't take my words as fact. You're listening to editorial content here, and I wish more broadcasters took that approach. And Min and Pedro, you're doing great work today, by the way, guys. Challenging me, I like that. Some philosophies can be just as harmful. Yeah, I guess, yeah. Sorry, guys, I need to leave for my morning prayers, says Pedro. No worries, my dude. Take it easy. We will see you on Monday. The best part about a lot of older philosophies, they're unmistakably connected to religion. Yeah, look, philosophy is just as problematic. Aristotle owned slaves. There are a lot of problematic philosophies. But most philosophers haven't caused death on the scale of most religions. You know what I mean? I just don't like framing things in religion because it kind of insinuates that there is a side, and I don't think there should be a side. I think right and wrong is fluid. I think there's a fluidity to morality, as I've mentioned a ton of times before, that depends on the heat of the room that you're in, how hungry you might be, how well you've slept that night. Morality, your own fixed values can change. Without a proper understanding of that, framing things in a religious perspective is just naive. And that kind of naivete doesn't belong in schools. It's an educational institution. So there you go. Guys. That's my final thought. You know what we're going to do? We're going to headbutt today's 100 Humans. All right, my friend, here we are. It was a long walk to work today across snow-capped mountains and through river valleys. And on that walk, I encountered 100 humans and I asked them all a question. Today's question was, name something that can go wrong during a first kiss. Name something that can go wrong during a first kiss. I asked them that question. They gave me their answers. I'm in possession of the top 7 answers. There are a lot of people watching the stream right now and only 3 people talking. Don't be a dirty, filthy lurker. So, name something that can go wrong during a first kiss. All right. Come on, Natch. Kick them off, my dude.
Bad breath.
Ooh. Dude, you said that so quick. Is this an experience? Like, Natch has dealt with people's bad breath, I think. Have you? What was your first kiss like, Natch?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I remember it.
Like, mine was terrible. It was like clashing of teeth. And then it looked like, I felt like she was trying, like doing a dental exam. Okay, so bad breath, says the Natch. Is bad breath there? Yes, it is. Well done, Natch. Bad breath is there with 35 of 100 humans is the number one answer. All right, well done, dude. So, okay, bad breath, well done. Okay, problems with braces. Problems with braces, says the Bridge. It's not there, Bridge. It's not there. Urs says to burp. Imagine that. That would be amazing. That's the kind of thing that causes you trauma. Burping. You know, you're having a little pash. Your lip locked. And she burps. Is it there, though? Yes, it is. Well done, Urs. It is number 6. Well done, my friend. Well done. All right, let's see. Too nervous. Too nervous. I think most of these things can be caused by nerves, but too nervous isn't there. Oof, Natch, we're running out of time. Can we speed run this? Can we speed run this, me and you? Okay, guys, if you guess any of these answers, shout them out in the chat. Okay, other than a burp, another kind of reaction that the body can have.
Cough.
A cough. Well done, Natch. Well done, dude. It's the 4th most popular answer. Min says to sneeze. To sneeze. Would sneezing be there? Yes, it is. Well done, Min. Min, by the way, joining us today all the way from the Netherlands. How's it going, man? Min, you were very insightful today in today's Unpopular Opinion. I appreciate that. Let's continue. Okay, imagine, you're there, you're young, it's first kiss time, you're both very enthusiastic, you move towards each other a little bit too quickly, and what happens?
I don't know, the chocas.
You bump heads, well done. 12 of 100 humans said that. Okay, this is way more difficult than I thought it would be. So headbutt, well done, Min. You got it too. Vomit is not there, although that would be gross. Yeah, how was the kiss? Chewy. I'm not even sure you're going to get the next two. I don't even know. Okay. Oh, how do I give you a clue for these two? I don't think I can. I don't think if you were a cannibal, this might happen, Natch. If you're a cannibal,
You bite.
you end up biting their lip. Well done, Natch. Okay, being drunk or unconscious, says Min. Neither one of those are there. And if you're Bill Crosby, that's a requirement, not a problem. Woo! Bill Cosby humor. Okay, all right, I don't think you're going to get this next one. I don't think you're going to get it. I'll tell you what, I'm just going to tell you, because we're running out of time. To miss the other person's mouth, which was the second place. Okay, guys, let's very quickly run down the list. I asked 100 humans to name something that can go wrong during a first kiss. In position number 7 was to bite the person's lip. To bite the person's lip. In position number 6 was a burp. Maybe you just been out for a dinner. You've drunk some fizzy drinks, and that happens. Okay, in position number 5, we had to sneeze. To sneeze. In position number 4, a cough. In position number 3 was to bump heads, and in position number 2 was to miss their mouth. With 16 of 100 humans. And finally, with 35 of 100 humans in position number 1, we had bad breath. Well done, Natch. You answered that so quickly. It makes me wonder. Makes me wonder about your first. How old were you when you had your first kiss?
Not very young. I don't know, 16. I think.
Oh, there you go. She could feel your stubble at that point. All right. Do we have to? Let's go to complete the news. We'll.
Complete the news.
We're going to speed run this, Natch. We're going to speed run this. There's one that I want to do. So, Republican Senator. A bit up. Sorry, how this works. I'm going to give you a news headline, un titular, but I'm going to leave out some important information. Okay, and you're going to complete the news by typing A, B, or C. No spoilers if you know the answer to this. So, Republican Senator Ron Johnson says that climate change is blank. So, Republican Senator Ron Johnson says climate change is blank. Did he say A, it's not a big deal? Climate change is not a big deal, A. Did he say B, climate change is an existential threat to humanity? Or did he say C, climate change is beneficial? Okay, Republican Senator Ron Johnson says climate change is blank. A, not a big deal. B, an existential threat to humanity. Or C, beneficial. The chat is leaning towards A. What do you say, Natch?
C.
You say C, beneficial. Not a big deal or beneficial. How you guys think of the poor Republican Party in the States? My God. Let's get a drum roll, Natch. Republican Senator Ron Johnson says climate change is beneficial. Oh, man. Oh, Republicans. Thank you for all the news, Republicans. You make complete the news what it is. Yeah, this is Republican Senator Ron Johnson of Wisconsin saying that touting the beneficial aspects of climate change. You know, you get a nice tan. Of course, guys, I will post all the links to this in my Patreon, so you can go ahead and look at it. That was from Newsweek. All right, friends, we are at the end of today's show. Oh my God, of this week's ProBoh shows. It's been a good week, friends. I will be back on Monday, probably around lunchtime. On Monday and Tuesday. So I will see you all there. Thank you so much for being here. Guys, so many things you could have been doing this morning. Instead of doing those things, you decided to take the time to spend some time with me, and it means the world. I will see you on Monday.